minutes of football left to go. New Hampshire holding on to a lead, but I'm sure they would like to get a lot more. We'll be back right after this. Well, back to Cal Stadium, homecoming 1986 for the fourth and final quarter of this game. Although I may be going too far ahead of myself, because in conference play there's always that possibility of overtime, which the Wildcats ran into earlier this season down at Delaware. We'd like you to know that we have more college football following the game here at Cal Stadium, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. First down and 10, New Hampshire from their own 35-yard line. Gene to pass. Braun open at the 40 and dropped right there for a pickup of 5.
Braun tackled by Eric Kapowski. Gain of 4, second and 6, New Hampshire.
So New Hampshire, they have a ball control type offense. I wouldn't say 28-19 is a good enough lead to have against a team like Connecticut. But if they can get another touchdown and just run the ball out, then they'll be in fine position. But I like what I see from this Connecticut ball club. They weren't picked to be as high as they were coming into the season, and they proved that they're a ball team. The give inside to the big fullback, Sims, and Sims is up close to a first down. He'll be short by about 1.5 yards. I understand that Frank Malicote is down on the sidelines right now. Frank, who do you have for us this time?
Well, thanks, Phil. We talked to Scotty Byron just a moment ago about Basil Jarashchuk. You're down the street closed now. I guess that's it for the day.
That's pretty much it. So I got hit in the ribs, and I'm out for a little while.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit what's going to happen. What exactly happened?
I went to tackle the quarterback, and one of our guys, I think, missed the tackle, and he hit me, came from the side and hit me. And at first I thought it was my wind that was knocked out, but it just hurt, so I stayed down for a while. And so we got checked out, and I think I probably got a bruised liver and maybe some damaged ribs, but I can't play until I get x-rayed.
Okay, well, we hope to have you back next week, hopefully. Thanks for joining us. Go back up to the booth right now.
Thanks a lot, Frank. So now we have 2 of the 3 Jarashchuk brothers on injured reserve, so to speak. New Hampshire not able to pick up the 4th down, or the first down on their 3rd down, so it's 4th down now. I hope you could understand that, because I just totally confused myself. Nate Baldacero will come in to punt the ball away from his own 30. Back to receive at his own 22 will be David Dunn. As I said earlier, we will have the Notre Dame Alabama game following this game. Live on Channel 9, and Nate Baldacero kind of got that one off the side of his foot out of bounds. And Connecticut will have first down and 10 from their own 48-yard line. And Nate, there he is in your picture, number 34, a youngster out of Bedford, New Hampshire, who was featured in our pregame show. Hopes that he can add another dimension to this ball club over the next 4 years. Remember, he didn't get his start until the Monday before the season opener. So Connecticut, first down and 10, they trail 28-19 with 12:51 remaining in the 4th quarter. 2 men in the backfield and receivers on the right side. Jarashchuk is the pressure, and Ilya brings Lane down for a loss with a little help there by number 97, Bill O'Malley.
Jarashchuk just made a beautiful play, beat his man to the inside, and just went after the quarterback. That's what a defensive player does. Here you're going to see him coming in from the top of your picture there, walk right around him, grab, pull him down. Excellent play. I tell you, all 3 of them, from what I hear and from what I've been seeing today, are excellent ball players.
Well, Ilya, he's got some strength, too. Now at 240 pounds, he runs the 40-yard dash in 4.7 and benches over 400 pounds. Lane, drop back, more pressure from Doherty, and the pass is good to Dunn, and Dunn is being pressured and brought down at midfield to pick up some of that lost yardage, where it'll be 3rd down and 7 for Connecticut. Vicious tackle that time.
Yeah, UNH wants him, I'll tell you, they're going after him. Wide receiver just coming underneath, in between the 2 coverages. You see, he has some pressure on him, but again, he's a scrambling quarterback. He knows how to move, and you have the receiver coming above the linebacker coverage and below the secondary coverage.
Stanley Harrison and Eric Thompson in on the tackle. They, by the way, are roommates, also roommates along with Curtis Holt. There's pressure from the outside. Boulez almost there. Fumble! and New Hampshire has recovered. And Dave, I'm going to leave the pleasure of reviewing that play up to you.
I'll tell you, what great second effort. I mean, here you have a guy crawling on the ground, going after him, causing pressure, and everybody just swarming all over him and causing the big play. And I told you, if the defense stays aggressive, okay, they're going to cause the big play. And here it is. It just happened, okay, and this could turn this could open this ball game right up. Here you go right here. Drops back. He tries to beat his man around the corner. Look at him crawl. Great second effort, I'll tell you. Ball's knocked out of his hand, and UNH recovers. I talk about second effort, though. UNH, it's unbelievable.
Rob Spittle gets the pass from Bob Jean, close to a first down. And just getting back to that last play, Paul Boulay was the defensive tackle around Lane's legs, which kind of slowed him up for the rest of the defense. Paul Boulay was also featured in our pregame show, the youngster out of Somersworth High School. Just a great defensive effort, and we've seen they've come on in the second half.
Paul Boulay's been having I've been watching Paul all game, is having a terrific game. Probably one of the best defensive linemen they have right now. But the second effort that he made there, I'll tell you, he's one heck of a ball player.
Another Yankee Conference action this afternoon. Richmond University leads Boston University 21-0. So again, Boston University having their troubles this year, usually a powerhouse in the Yankee Conference. Their only win this far is against Maine, and that was a Thursday night game down at Boston University's Nickerson Field. Second down 10, New Hampshire. One receiver, that's Billy Farrell on the right side, and Curtis Oles on the top of your screen. Gene is going to air it out to Farrell, and this will be a pass interference call, no problem. I think Billy Farrell played that pretty well, Dave.
I'll tell you, once again, there we have it on the left side of UConn. Okay, Travis Tessier. Okay, they're working on him, and it's just what they did. Travis wasn't even playing the ball. Went straight to the man, and I'll tell you, that's costly. Very costly UConn right there.
And another score, a surprising one. Northeastern out in front of the Engineers from Lehigh, 17-10 at halftime. Northeastern runs a powerful wishbone offense, and they are on New Hampshire's roster later on in the season. Holy Cross over Colgate, 13-3. The Crusaders looking to go 4-0 on the season. And just let me tell you about pass interference call. In college, it's 15-yard penalty, not at the point of infraction, as it is in the professional ranks. And there's a very nice camera shot right along the line of scrimmage. Bob Jean to pitch out to Norm Ford around the left side. Norm Ford with running room and still on his feet up to about the 7-yard line of New Hampshire. So Norm Ford showing me great potential this afternoon.
Again, I'm going to interject here, and not to take away from Mr. Ford, but Derek Milton, excellent block once again. Took the guy right down, opening that hold up for Norman Ford, and I'll tell you,
well, they've got
here he comes off the field right now.
They have a core of young, good running backs, Dave, and once they get inside the 5-yard line, you'll see them bring in Milton, Ford, and the big fullback Sims to play that power I backfield. 2nd and 3, New Hampshire, and Norm Ford plunges forward. He may be close to a first down. Ball looks like it's going to be spotted at the 5, which would make it 3rd and 1, New Hampshire. Third and 1. 31 for the Wildcats, and this reminder, if you miss News 9 tonight at 11, you just won't know what has been going on in New Hampshire today. So join Ben Salt and Odetta Rogers this evening at 11 for complete coverage of New Hampshire news. New Hampshire people depend on News 9. Shouldn't you? Join us tonight at 11. So there's a shot again of offensive line coach Phil Estes talking to Bobby Jean, and also coming into the picture there is Curtis Olds. New Hampshire with a timeout. 3rd down and 1 to go. If they pick up the first down, Dave, then they have 4 downs to work with. With 9:13 remaining in the second half, it's 28-19 New Hampshire. The New Hampshire offense, which right now faces a 3rd and 1 situation at the 5-yard line of Connecticut. If they pick this up, they'll have 4 fresh downs to work with, first and goal. Full house backfield, Milton, Sims, and Ford. Over the top is Ford, and Ford has the first down. Well, maybe I was premature. It looked to me like he had plenty of momentum to get the first down. And
Very tough runner.
oh, yeah.
Really is.
He's not a big runner either. Not at all, by any means. And so it's first and goal for the Wildcats. They have a 28-19 lead with 9:06 remaining in the second half. But they have opportunity here to add to that. There's that same full house backfield. This time the last man is Urbanik, and it's Gene on a keeper, and into the end zone. The pass intended for Spittle, and a nice defensive play there by 43 Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson did an excellent job on coverage that time. Was very close, reached inside, and batted the ball away. Excellent coverage.
So the Wildcats, who have gotten down to the 4-yard line by using the run, decided that their first play from scrimmage, they wanted it to be a pass. And Bobby Jean right there directing the Wildcat offense says, okay, fellas, we've got 3 more downs. Let's give it another shot. This time they go with the 2-back offense, now into the I formation. And the give goes to Ford, and Ford looks like he could be going in for number 3, and does. So freshman Norm Ford has a hat trick this afternoon.
I'll tell you, what a job he's doing today. Weaved in and out and broke it back in, read where the hole was, and just went and took it to it.
Well, they have such a thing in the Yankee Conference called the Yankee Conference Rookie of the Week honors, and there's no doubt in my mind that when I pick up the paper Tuesday morning, Norm Ford's name will be right in that spot.
I think the same thing.
So New Hampshire has taken a 34-19 lead with 8 minutes and 44 seconds remaining here in this fourth quarter. And Eric Facey is in to attempt the extra point. And the extra point is through and true. So that makes it 35-19. And the Wildcats have given the Huskies something to think about. I think we need to see that touchdown run one more time.
This quick pitch to Norman Ford once again, just like the other touchdowns he made, and excellent running. You see him break a tackle there, and just a power runner. Nobody's going to take him down.
Tell you what, the young man has exceptional balance, as we saw him with his other 2 touchdowns. 8:44 remaining here in the fourth quarter. New Hampshire now out by a commanding 35-19 lead. So Eric Facey is getting his workout this afternoon. Last week, he definitely got his workout with New Hampshire scoring 66 points. And this ball club, Dave, is putting a lot of points on the board this season. Last year, I think they averaged a little over 20 points. This year, they're doing a little better than that.
It's easy to see why after watching them today. They have some real key specialty people in quarterback position, wide receivers, and running backs.
So on the kick return, number 44, George Booth, returns it out to the 37-yard line, where the Huskies will start first down and 10, and looks like a little bit of a melee going on down there. As you can see, the homecoming fans are looking to try and get some kind of wave together, but I think they'd rather just sit back and enjoy the game.
You know, mentioning the specialty people of UNH as the quarterback and wide receivers, let's not forget the offensive line, which has done a tremendous job today, given the time that is needed for Bobby Jean to stay back there and hit on those passes.
They are, of course, John Driscoll, Joe Thompson, Jim Prendable, Mike Carter, and Gardner Gendron. And the ball is picked off by number 90, Bobby Murray, and Bobby Murray is filling in for the injured Basil Jaroschuk. So again, the Wildcat defense, and let me tell you, as I get my lips back, that Bob Murray last week returned an interception against Dartmouth for a touchdown. There he is, number 90.
Holding his arm there right now.
Number 12 to the left of your screen is Stan Harrison, one of the defensive anchors in that defensive backfield for New Hampshire. But again, New Hampshire has gotten the ball back in great field position with 8:31 remaining in the fourth quarter, thanks to a Bob Murray interception, the second in the last 2 weeks. There's that counter, only this time Gene wants to keep it. He's being pressured by Nate Cotton, and a nice pass put on there by Prendable, and Billy Farrell has a touchdown. The block that set Farrell free came from number 69, Jim Prendable, and Dave, you just talked about the offensive lineman, and you're absolutely right.
Jim Prendable put a hit on, I'll tell you, what a hit that was. He certainly saved it. He was the touchdown. He really was. Yeah, he may not have caught the ball, but he was the touchdown. The hit was on Nate Cotton.
I don't think poor Nate knew what hit him. He said, I've got me a quarterback, and the next thing you know is he's flipped over on his back. Bobby Gene saw Billy Farrell down at the 6-yard line, and Farrell, with some fancy footwork, beat the defensive back and got into the end zone. So New Hampshire, back-to-back games with some high scoring
Nate Cotton is considered one of the better performers on the defense of UConn.
And Eric Facey's extra point makes it 42-19 New Hampshire with 8:22 remaining in the fourth quarter. Stay with us. This one is a great partner. Game score 0-0 in the first. And I must reiterate that we will join that game in progress as soon as this one between UNH and Connecticut has finished. A big touchdown pass from Bobby Gene to Billy Farrell has put the Wildcats out in front 42-19. And the reason that touchdown pass was made possible because 69 Jim Prendable laid a nice block on number 54 Nate Cotton. And Nate, I know Nate was thinking in the back of his mind, and you should know this being a former defensive player, that he had his mind on just devastating Bobby Gene, and he himself got devastated from the side.
I'll tell you, Nate was probably thinking he was going to make the headlines, and unknown to him, the hammer was coming down on him. I tell you, you hear people talk about Alabama or the Big Tens and Big Eights and what kind of football they play. Based on today, you can't find any better football than you're seeing out here today.
And this is right here in New Hampshire, folks, and we're happy that you were able to join us for this live broadcast here on Channel 9 this afternoon. And remember, you'll be able to join that Alabama-Notre Dame live in progress when this game has finished. And the way the Wildcats are going, I think they're already starting to celebrate. And what a great win to have for homecoming, Dave. Connecticut nationally ranked in the top 20 in Division I AA. The Wildcats coming in here with only one loss, and that was in their season opener. Right now, giving Connecticut all they can handle.
I'm a little cautious. There's still 7:45 left in the game.
Well, you're absolutely right. And Lane, scrambling out of the backfield, is sacked by Boulet. Another fumble by Connecticut. And New Hampshire will get the ball right back. Tom Jackson is over there on the Husky sideline right now, just pulling his hair out because the Wildcats' defensive unit has just been tremendous here in the second half.
I'll tell you, I believe you now.
Paul Boulet, the youngster out of Somersworth, New Hampshire, putting pressure on the quarterback Lane and Bill O'Malley to recover the fumble.
Again, right now, UNH can't do anything wrong.
Nope, and that's basically the way it was with Connecticut in the first half. So the tables have been turned here in the second as the Wildcats have a first down and 10 from the Connecticut 38-yard line. Gene, the pitch out to Ford around that right side. Ford may get stopped up, and he does, but not before picking up about 2. So again, with 7:27 remaining, and there is Scotty Bryron on the sideline, looking right now at number 93, Kevin Doherty. Looks to be something in the general area of the elbow as they put an ice pack on it. New Hampshire leads this 42-19 with 7:12 remaining in the fourth quarter. And they have put back-to-back tremendous scoring efforts together. Last week, 66 points against Dartmouth, and today, 42 against a defense ranked 10th. There goes the give to the big fullback Sims, and Sims barrels all the way down to the Connecticut 27-yard line for another New Hampshire first down.
Quick draw, worked well. Wide open hole there, and just bolted right up there. UNH at this point is basically doing exactly what they want to do against UConn. If they want to pass, they're passing and it's working. If they want to run, they're running and it's working.
And the big factor here is turnovers. Connecticut, who played such a steady ball game in the first half, has really just fallen apart here in the second. And New Hampshire, not stupid, has taken advantage of all those mistakes. The pitch out to Ford around the left side, and Ford is through again, and he'll pick up about 5 on that one.
I'll make a comment here. Once you saw the defense turn around, things in the game started to turn around. When UNH started getting aggressive out there, things started happening. And I know you used to be an offensive player, Phil, but I'm going to tell you, offense sells tickets, defense wins ball games. And I think that's what you're seeing here happen today.
Well, I think Coach Bowes has to be happy. He's gotten a balanced attack all around of his ball club, both offensively and defensively. Second down for New Hampshire, and the counter, it's a fumble by Norm Ford, and the ball will go back to Connecticut. But you know, you see the fumble by Connecticut, and yet not a whole lot of life, Dave. Earlier in the game, you would have seen the Connecticut players jumping for joy, but they've got a fumble, which means that they have a lot of work to make up.
It sure does. Again, right now, it's tough for UConn, okay? They look at the scoreboard and see the score, okay? And even though they've got a fumble recovery saying, hey, you know, we've got to put more than just one touchdown on the scoreboard. But
that was the 5th fumble of the afternoon here in this ball game, and when I say 5th fumble, I mean all around by both ball clubs. And there's the out pass, a nice snag, and we have some substitutions for the Connecticut ball club. Number 11, Peter Lane, who started the game at quarterback, has now gone to the sideline, and Chris Riley, who 2 years ago had the starting chore for Connecticut, has now taken over that position. And I think this is the time of the game, Dave, where Tom Jackson says, look, 5:23 left to go. Why should I keep my starters in there and possibly get them hurt and not have them for the rest of the season? So at this point, he's going to give some of his second-team players a chance to get some play. Right there, a fumble by Riley. I think it was just a bad exchange on the snap from the center, Tom Kroll. So Connecticut will now look at a 3rd and 10 situation with 4:55. The clock still ticking, left to go in the 4th quarter. 42-19, New Hampshire out in front. Still with the same receivers, Antrim and David Dunn, and Riley now drops back, and he'll get the same pressure Riley did. Lane did, sorry, that is Riley, the quarterback, as Connecticut starts to substitute.
Riley appears to be having trouble at the snap there. He bobbled that ball too, and basically just tried to run out of there once he got control of the ball again.
And in that Alabama-Notre Dame game, the Crimson Tide has scored first to lead it 7-0 again. As soon as this game is over, we will take you to that game in progress. And a long punt there by Carreri puts Harrison all the way back to the 10-yard line, where Harrison returns it to the 20. So New Hampshire, with 4:01 left to go up on the clock, will have a 1st down and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
I think UNH may be at this point thinking about homecoming festivities afterwards of the game.
Oh, you mean the tailgating?
Well, yeah, sort of.
Do they look worried at all? There's a shot of the Wildcat sideline. That's Chris Kelleher, number 59, out of Laconia, New Hampshire. He handles all the snaps for the extra points and punts for New Hampshire. 1st and 10, Wildcats from their own 20-yard line. The pitch shot goes to Urbanek around the left side, and he's tripped up in the backfield by number 74, David Amendola, a senior out of Bethany, Connecticut. So on that play, Urbanek loses about a yard. And if you know Coach Bowes, he's not the type of coach to run up the score on a team. Last week, the indication was that Coach Bowes tried to run the score up. That was not the case. His 2nd and 3rd team just wanted to score, and they did. Dartmouth not very strong on defense, and you will not see Coach Bowes do the same here this afternoon against Connecticut. He will stick to the ground game, as Todd Urbanek picks up some big yardage right there before being brought down by the UConn secondary.
What you're going to see out of UNH right now is that they're going to stay on the ground, like you said, and eat up the clock and finish out the game, not giving the opportunity for UConn to come back and score. However, I would like to see him go once more to the left side.
The old Norm Ford, let's give it to Norm and see if he can go 70 yards with it. There are also some changes in the defensive secondary for Connecticut. That last tackle was made by number 5, Abbott Burrell, who's in there now for Travis Sasser, who was burned earlier for a touchdown. And Todd Urbanek running with reckless abandon can't get very far, maybe a yard past the line of scrimmage, which means New Hampshire will have to punt the ball away again. And with 2:29 left to go in the game, New Hampshire with a comfortable 42-19 lead. I think you're right. I think the players are thinking more about what's going to happen tonight once they get out of the shower.
I'll tell you, it was a big change from the first half. And when UNH came out in that third quarter, they came, you could tell, they were ready to play ball. First half, they looked a little sluggish and, a few problems here and there. Bill Bowles looked a little relaxed there, didn't he?
He sure did. And, he said it. He hit it right on the head. The team that makes the fewest mistakes in this one will come out the winner. And I think the second half, Connecticut made too many mistakes, more than head coach Tom Jackson would have liked. And on the return right there, David Dunn is wrapped up by the UNH special teams at the Connecticut 44-yard line with 1:50 left to go in the game. That's what the Huskies will have to work with, and they have a lot to work on as they trail 42-19. So coming into this afternoon's contest, Connecticut, they were at the top of the Yankee Conference with a 1-0 record, 3-0 overall, and the Wildcats were 2-1 in the conference. At the end of the day, well, the Wildcats will be 3-1, and the Huskies will be 1-1. There's a long pass down to Teddy White, and Teddy White looking to pick off a Chris Riley pass that was intended for number 4, Terry Antrim. Check it, Glenn Antrim. Terry is his brother who plays the tailback slot. But again, what can you do, Dave? You're a Connecticut team trailing by a bunch. You have to go for those big plays, especially with 1:44 left to go.
Yeah, they're gonna put it up in the air and try to get a quick score out of it. You were saying before both UNH and Connecticut coming in here at the beginning of the game, it's pretty evenly matched. And that by no means the score is an indication that Connecticut is, that much worse than UNH or whatever. Both teams are still very, very impressive. UNH came up and made their own breaks defensively and causing big plays, and that's what happens even for the best teams.
So 3rd down and 11 for Connecticut, and wrapped up by the UNH defense. 1:25 left to go in the game, and I think this was a pretty fulfilling contest for all those involved and for those of you at home who had an opportunity to watch this live broadcast this afternoon here on Channel 9. Remember, right after this game is finished, we will take you to that Alabama-Notre Dame game, which at last mention, the Crimson Tide was ahead 7-0. The handoff up the middle to number 44, George Booth, another second-team man for the Huskies, as we're now inside a minute left to go in this game. And I think now it's safe to say, Dave, that the Wildcats will come out of this one this afternoon 4-1.
No, I'll agree with you. Yeah, it's safe.
And when you pick up your Tuesday morning or Monday morning paper, I think you'll find that the UNH Wildcats will finally be ranked in the top 20 in Division I AA, being that the Huskies right now, well, coming into the game, were ranked 18th this afternoon. That won't be the case next week. A long punt by Kelleher looks more like a pass as it sails into the end zone. Stanley Harrison can do nothing but just watch it sail over his head, but what the heck? With 25 seconds left to go in the game, he can just probably come over on the bench and have a couple of cups of Gatorade and start making his post-game celebration plans. Here's a good shot of the scoreboard here at Cal Stadium, 42-19. 25 seconds remaining as we pull out and get a shot at the field.
I'll tell you, UNH really put on a show for the homecoming crowd here today. Started a little sluggish and came right back and showed the kind of ball they're capable of playing. Very aggressive team. They attack offensively as well as defensively. And they'll be going places this year, I'm sure.
Well, there's nothing like winning your homecoming game. Next week, the Wildcats pack up and they travel down to Pennsylvania to take on the Leopards of Lafayette College in a non-conference game, while the Connecticut Huskies will be at home against Delaware State. And as the clock winds down, the fans here in Cal Stadium count along, and New Hampshire has won their 4th straight game and their 3rd conference game this season. So the Wildcats are a happy group of campers, as you would say, as all the players meet. There's a shot of Coach Bowles and Tom Jackson. Both of those coaches, by the way, did play at Penn State during their collegiate days. And one coach will go home with a loss, and the other coach will go home with a win. And Dave, your assessment of this afternoon's game?
I'll tell you, UNH really bounced back after that first half and looked to me to be a very impressive team. A team that seems, okay, if they keep gelling the way they are and keep playing with the tenacity that they are, okay, that they're going to be a team that's going to make the playoffs.
Hey, if you just saw that picture, Coach Bowles had a smile on his face walking off the field.
Well, based on the way his offense and defense came out in that second half, he's got a lot to smile about.
There's the final score right there. New Hampshire 42, the University of Connecticut Huskies 19. We hope you enjoyed watching this afternoon's game here. And before we do turn you over to that Alabama-Notre Dame game, we'd like to get one more word from Channel 9 Sports Director Frank Malicote, who is somewhere down on the sidelines in that mass of people. Frank?
Joining me right now is quarterback Bobby Jean. Bobby, one heck of a day, over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdown passes. You got to be happy with that. What did you guys do during halftime to make the?
We just got together. We knew we could do it. We felt we were a better team, so we went out there and we just went to it, and things worked our way. We got a few breaks, and defense did a hell of a job out there.
Got to be happy with your game today.
Oh yeah, you can't complain about it. A little shaky in the beginning, but things work itself out after a while.
Looking ahead to Lafayette, what do you see next week?
Well, we got to look at the film. They're not a bad team. There might be a spoiler. You never know.
2-1 in the conference and well on your way. Nice game.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. You heard it from Bobby Jean, quarterback, a super day today, over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdown passes. And let's go back up to the booth to Dave and Phil.
Thanks a lot, Frank. And that young man, Bobby Jean, is destined to have a great career here at UNH. Once again, I hope you enjoyed watching this live broadcast of UNH Wildcat football here on Channel 9. I, on the behalf of the rest of the Channel 9 staff and the crew that worked so hard here this afternoon, would like to thank you, Dave Rosmick, for taking the time out of your schedule to come up here and do the color commentary for us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All right, Dave. Continued success. Once again, stand by, because coming your way here on Channel 9, the Alabama Crimson Tide Notre Dame Fighting Irish game in progress.
Now is the time to get fit.